An interesting story that I'll share with you today, and I titled it Life's Little Lessons. So I'm a product of a single parent. So Joshua, thank you for recognizing that that's not a curse, it's actually a blessing in many cases. And I grew up in South Florida, and for all the 5th grade students in the state of Florida under safety patrol, you get to go to Washington, D.C. for a class trip and experience all the wonders of D.C. And so what we would do is we would raise money every Friday by selling popcorn to the students. 25 cents a bag. Raised a lot of money that way. Now what we were also doing was leading the school and making sure that kids were doing the right things. So we were learning a lot of leadership qualities as a result of that. Now they had recommended when you go to Washington, D.C., you need to have some spending money. So they said it's important to have, a couple $100s. So $200 was the goal of every 4th grader, because that summer before the 5th grade, we were cutting lawns, we were washing cars, we were selling candy door to door, we were doing chores, we were raising a lot of money. And we went into the 5th grade. Many of us had already raised that money over that summer. So I gave my money to my mother for safekeeping, because if it were left up to me, I'd probably waste it on transformers and other wasteful items. So I gave it to her to hold for me. So the day before the trip, my mother invited all of my classmates, friends, and family to breakfast right before they sent us off. So we get there, and as you can imagine, it's very crazy, lots of excitement, kids running around, everybody eating breakfast. And as the morning progressed, people were starting to make their way to the train station. And I noticed my mother was sitting there in the back, sipping coffee, not really rushing, and I was getting really excited, very anxious to get going. So we make our way to the train station, and I can tell something's wrong, and I'm like, you know what, maybe this is the first time I'm leaving my mother. She's very emotional about that. So when we get to the train station, it's like Grand Central Station, madhouse. We end up going, getting lined up to get on the train. At that moment, I realized my money. I forgot about my money. So I looked at my mother, and I can see a tear in her eye. And I was confused. I didn't know what was going on. And she said, I'm sorry, but this morning at breakfast, I think the parents misunderstood when I invited them to breakfast, and I got stuck with the bill. And back then, there wasn't debit cards and credit cards that you could just pay with. So she used my money, basically, to pay for the breakfast. Now, I was devastated, because I felt embarrassed, I felt angry, but I knew my mother. She worked 3 jobs, a day job, a night job, and a weekend job, and I knew, this wasn't her fault. So I wiped a tear from her eye, and I boarded the train, and I started to cry. Now, other kids were crying because, they were going to miss their family. I was crying because I was embarrassed. I didn't have any spending money. So as I was reaching into my bag to grab a tissue, I noticed my mother had packed a bunch of snacks in this big duffel bag like she always does. And I looked inside and I saw blow pops, chocolate, all this bag of candy. And for a moment, I thought about, maybe I should sell this candy. So as the trip progressed, I had people in the different carts selling the candy and raised enough money to buy gifts. So when I got back and my mother saw me handful of gifts, at first I got interrogated because she thought I stole everything, and after I told her, I obviously didn't, she was very proud of me. And I say that to give you these little life lessons, because I think about me today as a 42-year-old I probably would have sat on the train eating all that candy in depression, right? Because that's what happens when you get older. You don't think through things like you do at your age. I would just say stay courageous, stay curious, and this world is a tough world, no doubt about it. But I have the utmost faith that all of you will be the leaders. And I made sure, I told you, I'm a hiring manager. I'm waiting to hire you guys when you guys get old enough. Thank you very much. And please, that was a very kind introduction, but I could not do this without my colleagues at Morgan Stanley. And Paul Labarda is a huge, huge reason, and I feel a little embarrassed that you're not getting the great intro. So I call him Professor Labarda. So if you don't mind, please say